Okay. So first we need to, as usual, we need to sort of demolish the understanding of time, which is one of the most difficult. This is why it's so elusive. Sanctity or holiness as a term of perception, because um, when we get into the sense of time, it's a sense or within the term language or the condition of the work, meaning of reformation. Time was is an off is an offer by Bina to Malchut of a process of something that actually can um, connect its its state, Malchut, the Malchut state, in terms of not having an ability to fulfill the will of the Creator, into a process that will make her able to fulfill the will of the Creator without actually changing the nature of herself but by changing the use of herself. And this process is called sanctification.
Mm.
Okay? So it means that it's the ability to hear, this is why it says well Bina, to hear the invitation of the higher, the summoning. It's actually an ability to hear that the higher is summoning us, and therefore to sort of integrate in ourselves the ability to summon the higher. This is why Israel, as a living memory of reformation, will sanctify time, will sanctify this summoning, because this is the only summoning that will allow, or the only. This is why it's so important to open it within eternity. It's the only viable and it's not a process, state in which we are able actually to, sanctify, to come into terms with reformation, or with that, to some sort of closeness to the higher, some sort of simile, which is not it's not like his sort of, it's not a one quality. It does not depict one quality of, like in Sfirot or within, merciful. It's something that has to do with the whole idea of how to use ourselves in order to come closer. This is sanctification, and it has to do with the process of approaching, of summoning. Okay, nothing to do with how we perceive time. Okay, so what's been what Rabash is trying to actually suggest within this article is another commentary on the Zohar of why it is so core, why it is a core issue, sanctification. And because it is a core issue, it'll be it will be misused more than other, let's say, terms, because it brings in it a presence. And most religions will use the longing for presence and will give it emotional substitute, and we will call it sanctity or holiness. Okay. So, for example, Baal Sulam uh, will actually try to discern in a very strict way um, the difference between holy, okay, sancti, and uh, blessing, sanctifying and blessing. Okay, what we're doing holiday. It means we are combining something that actually has two different nature in its core, meaning day, which it has to do with blessing, and sanctification, which has to do with completing ourselves to be able to match the Creator's will. It's almost left and right. Okay, so the tension is not with the time, is the absence of the ability to summon. Okay, not only to summon by our, let's say, work or study or prayer, but even not being able to have the vessel that can hear the summoning from above, which is actually the definition um, of time. And time in Hebrew has to do with witnessing copulation, witnessing a meeting, being able to witness a meeting point between the light. And this is why those, I can say, days, which are sort of dividing themselves into uh, different, mm, almost different sense and quality of summoning, what we're able to call, what we're able to call into ourselves because we feel the necessity, we feel the need. We use it as to complete ourselves. Yeah. So it is possible. Only you see, um, after the death or אחרי מות, which is it's a day that was in completion. Now, what happened there in terms of Nadav and Avihu? It means that there was something that was revealed that is not able to actually hold completion, or something which is complete, the complete presence of the higher. So then it is clear that after that, what will be born is the process of how we sanctify ourselves in order to be able to hold this presence. Okay, so three states will be: what are we able to actually summon Erchanpin in terms of the face of reformation into our study of Torah as spirit of Israel. So it needs three definitions that can sort of connect themselves into one, unify themselves into one. Israel as spirits, as a representative of spirits, Torah that can sanctify or prepare us to be able to to be that which can hold blessing and sanctity together. Okay, so so this is important because we need to think differently, completely from the way we use the word time. Okay, first we need to sort of he's saying that it's a separate holiness sort of requires a separation process, I need to separate myself from something in order, yeah, to be sort of to differentiate in a way that I'm moving away from. So we cannot actually deal with sanctification unless we separate ourselves from the corporeal term of time. Yeah? Okay. Yes. Okay.
So what, as you were speaking, I felt like sometimes things shift up and down, or but this time it was like an internal like rotation, like the whole system was
Mm.
rotating and reconnecting differently. Um, so what happens? So what do I do with the traditional definition of time? What does it
You
cease?
use it in order to get on time to work or to your meeting. Nothing, nothing. It's a term of sort of um, it's a social term, time.
Yeah.
So in uh, under the canopy of corporeal life, we use time um, as a point, uh, yes, as a meeting point. So it's a branch of meeting point,
Mm,
but it means that something else needs to summon.
hmm.
Okay, so um, with with another human being, when I have the same language in terms of perception of reality, we're saying we meet at 1 o'clock. Okay. Um, then time can, or you can say that time can shift within the meeting. Okay.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
we're saying, yes, we start corporeally. We're saying we start the meeting 4:30 Israeli time. So we bring the corporeal into the corporeal state or uh, definition into an arena in which time can shift,
Yeah.
meaning that the terminology can shift, meaning the perception can shift. But I need to start with corporeal meeting point. So when we meet, we change the terms and we
Yeah.
move into intention, because what we came with a vessel that could not sort of dress with intention,
Hmm.
cannot dress itself. So when we come to a place on time, then we can change the term because we are not using the vessel itself, we're using the screen, meaning a new vessel. So this is where time starts to shift. Now, a vessel that we are able to construct in terms of screen depends on intention. That we have common intention, actually not to use ourself, our perception of everything of reality as we use it on the way here. Okay. So here there is a surrender to a different agreement.
Hmm.
And part of the agreement is not to use the language in the same way, to allow ourselves to for the language to deconstruct itself. And if I speak in terms of Lacan or whatever, so we allow deconstruction in order to allow something else to build itself onto above it. Above it is a return light. Yeah. And then something new. Now, the screen that we're able to build after Tzimtzum Bet is something that has to do with um, surrendering to the qualities of Bina, meaning to bestow. So now it's not that I will be only a bestower in a bestowal quality, but I will be a receiving vessel that uses itself in order to bestow. This is why my sanctity is not like your sanctity. Saying, because he is only to bestow, but we need to function differently, because bestowal actually is already enforcing reception. Yeah. So how do I, and this is how do I sanctify myself? By using the nature that the Creator wish for me to be, in a way that is the way I use myself is with a quality and feature of the higher that He's giving to me in order to use. It's actually what I said now, it's a definition of a screen of intention. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's our
So
job just to ask that question.
yeah, yeah. Our job is to ask the question and to ask to borrow this, to be able to borrow this state, this ability from the higher.
Mm.
This is what we are calling summoning.
Mm.
Because I see, um, I am, I became aware of my want of the deficiency of myself being able to connect to that. So I'm revealing that which was concealed because I was not ready, or humanity was not ready. Okay, which actually connects this um, sanctity into eternity.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
As
Yes.
you were speaking, I got this image of like a Star Wars spaceship like jumping into hyperspace, and it has this like period where like it's just, well, you don't usually get to spend time in the hyperspace jump. It's just like
Mm,
they were here, they hyperspace jumped, and then they land somewhere completely different.
mm, mm. Yeah.
And the sense of these are the two different versions of time that we're dealing with, and this, I think, real, I don't know if it's acceptance, but like inquiry into like, how do I feel the 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 space, the distant space, not in a vacuum sense, but like the distance that has been covered
Yeah.
between the jumps.
I don't think we can evaluate the distance. What we can evaluate is the demand to adjust to the new
Yeah.
state. Yeah.
Yes.
This is where we can sort of measure the difference. So it's not difference in um, it's not a measurement of
Where we went, but how to be in the new
yeah,
place.
it's not a
Yeah.
measurement of how much we covered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, it's the difference between the state.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we need to adjust, the reality that we need to adjust ourselves to, and that is the distance. So it's not a measurement of the distance. It's actually a measurement of the need to adjust to a different state. Okay. Okay.